Remothered Broken Porcelain is a follow-up of Remothered Tormented Fathers, which most of us know by now. This video won't spoil anything for you since we ain't going past the first area of the game. Let me just start off by saying that this game is a prequel of the first one, but in all honesty, the story is all over the place and gets confusing fast. When talking about the timeline of the game, I would say you need a time machine and a lot of gas to wrap your head around the action, so don't bother with it. Its name is a match made in heaven, as Broken Porcelain is exactly what this game is. Broken. You won't believe me how broken this game is until you try it yourself. My excitement for this game was big, and so was my disappointment when I finally got my hands on it and played it. Bought the game day one of the release like a true fan, rubbing my hands together while it downloaded. I was thinking to myself I was in for a treat, and I wasn't wrong at all. The game took me by surprise with a lot of stuff, especially after it got delayed. It showed me everything that was wrong in the first game, but 10 times worse. Command buttons failing to appear, and when they do appear, they don't work. The audio that cuts in and out randomly, enemies that forget what they should be doing, game crashes, the camera angles that go all over the place when facing stalkers, confused cutscenes and characters, and more than I can mention. Wanted to upload the whole series on the channel as a playthrough, but I can't make anyone suffer through all that. At the start of the game I noticed how weird the transitions between cutscenes and characters look and feel, but hey, I thought I was too hard on the game since it just got released. I pushed on and continue, and let me tell you that the real issues of the game surface when the action begins. That means running, hiding, sneaking, and all that. What do I mean by that? The running feels off, especially when pushing the doors while you do it. Hiding, well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Most of the times it does because the stalker brain turns into mashed potatoes and forgets you went into the closet next to him. Sneaking around with Jennifer is a torture, and she takes her time doing it. I'm going to talk about the first stalker from Ashmann Inn. Andrea Massino is the housekeeper from the start of the game and our first stalker. Her AI is confusing most of the times and hard to read, and not in a good way. Sometimes she will be alert and spot you even if she can't see you and you are crouching. Other times she will blankly stare at you while you stand in front of her. Weird bugs that I've found so far. At one point in the game we have to kill Andrea. We do that by sneaking up on her and backstabbing with a knife or a screwdriver. Well, that's easier said than done. You crouch so slow that 8 out of 10 times Andrea turns around and sees you. Other times you manage to get behind her, but the action button won't appear above her head. In the area where Andrea has her office, you will find a double door that is usually wide open. At one point randomly the door decides to close, so that every time I want to go through that office, which is most of the time since it leads to more important areas, I have to push the door to open. Even the enemy is confused when seeing the door closed and starts pushing it in a loop that looks like she's playing volleyball. When we get killed, our whole body will randomly disappear, turning us into Casper. Doesn't happen often, but eventually will. Let's recap. Controls that don't work like they should, sometimes they don't work at all. Sounds and music that cut in or out randomly through the game and in the menu of the game. Confused enemy AI, glitched cutscenes transitions, weird character movements, awkward interaction with items. The game ain't the worst, but it ain't better than the first one. And for a game that costs $30 and already had a delayed release, I expected something good. I expected an upgrade from the first one, not a downgrade. Please remember that this is my take on the game and your opinion can be different from mine, but the point is that the game feels like a beta, not a full game. I bought the game out of love for the first one, but it doesn't come even close. If you want to try it out, be my guest, but I highly recommend the first one and not the newer release. To me, at the state that the game is in, I can't enjoy it. That was it from my side. Tell me if you plan on getting the game and I'll see you in the next one.